Alright guys, if you're watching this video, you're probably in the same situation as me. I bought this Amaran HR672C, which is the bicolor LED panel from Apurture, and not even a year, and these batteries, well, almost a year, but not quite a year. And these batteries that it came with, the generic ones, the NP batteries, don't last as long. They still work, but they're just not as, they just don't run as long on these lights. So I tried researching this connector. I rather just use this connector, but the problem I'm getting is I can't find this connector anywhere. Even locally, I go to the local electronics store and not available. They don't even know what this is. They never even seen this connection before. And if you go to that store, I mean, they've seen it all, because you go to that store, it's like walking back in time. Like walking in that store is like you're walking in the 80s. So they know pretty much everything electronics, and they have never seen this plug before. I go to Apurture's website. They don't sell like these parts, or there's not available, and I just don't have the time to keep researching and trying to track this down. I'm pretty sure you can probably find this somewhere, I just don't know where. So I'm going to actually just modify this light. Of course, you're going to avoid warranty. I don't even know how long this warranty is, but I don't care, because I need this light to be working. I want it to work the way I want it to, and I'm going to be using this connection instead of using or buying more of these. These batteries are like I think $60 or $40 or $60, something like that. And I can keep buying these cheap generic batteries, and they keep dying on me. Or I can buy the Sony OEM batteries, which will be about $150 one. So you're talking pretty much $300 for a pair, because of course one doesn't work. One does not work in here. You need both for it to work. Oh, see, this is actually even dead. Anyway, so you need both to work, because these are 7.4 volt batteries, and this is pretty much a 15 volt light. So you need both of these in series, or it's already internally wired series to run. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to modify this connection and use these plugs right here, these Dean plugs. These Dean plugs, the reason why I chose Dean plugs is because this is actually from a hobby store. These are for RC cars, and they are used for the electronic speed control, which basically powers a motor. So I'm thinking if this connection can power a motor which draws a lot of current, this should be enough to handle the current draw for an LED light. No problem. I've used these lights, these connections before in other lights. In fact, I use them in incandescent lights, which even suck more power than these, or current. So definitely I should be able to handle LEDs at no problem. First off, we're going to be taking off this front panel. It's basically screws, these 12 screws bordering this connection. Okay, now once you get all these screws out, just pop off this bezel. Comes right off, and then from there, yeah, the light just pops right out. Let's put that on the side. Now basically what we're going to be doing is just taking out this piece right here, their connection, their factory connection, which can't find any connectors for, and we're just going to replace it with the Dean plug. So there's more screws here. It's like 1, 2, yeah, all of these right here. Okay, got that out, and I think these come out right here. There's these little screws on the side here. It's even smaller than this. All right, just pulls right out. Pull it out. Just a little screw right here. Yeah. A little screw right there, just loosen it up and it just pops right out. Let's get pliers. Loosen these screws. And just unscrew it. Basically, you're going to need a solder gun because we're going to be actually soldering. And if you don't know how to solder, I don't suggest you doing this because I've seen guys do some horrible soldering and you can actually ruin the lights when you don't know what you're doing. So pop this out and this whole thing will flip the other way. This way. So basically the connector is right behind this. And there it is. So now what we're going to do is desolder this from this wire, and we're gonna modify this for the Dean's. This Dean's connection to sit in here. Now make sure you get the clearance now. When this thing goes back in here, I'm going to actually mount it to here. Mount it to here. I'm going to actually you know, drill some slots in here for the back connection. Now you gotta be careful, okay, what side to use as far as the Dean's. Okay, this part I always use as the non-battery part, okay, because you can do it all kinds of ways, but this part I use as a non-battery part. This part, okay, connects on the battery end, so the battery will be soldered to here. That way you don't accidentally short things out. If you're to solder your battery part on this here, now this touches any metal part and then you can short this out. So I always put this part on non-powered part, and this part is always my battery. That way you can always plug it in, works, unplug it, and doesn't matter if this touches anything, you won't short out the battery because everything's covered and protected. Make sense? I hope so. So what we're gonna do is, this is the part you're gonna be soldering. This little piece right here. The longer piece is what goes into here, and you're gonna actually see. See this little, like a little spring here? That's just to keep tension. That's another reason why I like to use these. There's a lot of tension on this kind of connection, so it doesn't easily pop out. I mean, when I used to race RC cars, we used to play like demolition derby, and we used to hit each other and bang each other's cars and stuff, and these things don't even pop out when they hit, and they're going some high speeds, and these connections don't even pop out. So on a light, they should at least be able to handle, just picking up your light, moving it, putting it down, and not popping out. So another reason why I like these connections. Now you just need to figure out the way you're gonna sit the connection. Now what I did is just take out this piece right here where it's held in by the power point. Took out this back piece that's covering it, drill some holes in it to fit my connection here. So basically it fits in right there. So I'm going to solder this wire, desolder it, and solder it right here and pop it right back in. And that's pretty much all you need to do. Another thing you need to do is probably file this out to fit this connection in. And I'm going to show you what that after I do this. But just desolder this and solder it to this. And also you got to know, you have to also know your power connection is. Just mark right here on these plugs. Depending on what connection you use, you don't have to use Dean's, you can use others, but you just got to make sure that you know the power and the ground is marked right here, power and ground. your connection you use, you just got to make sure you use the correct one on the battery side to work with. Pop it on like that, and we're going to do it right here is solder on. You can even mark it too. So this one is going to be power and ground. So here, you just grab a little Sharpie here, put power and ground. And now you know which is power and ground. Let's get the solder going. While waiting for the soldering iron to heat up, we're just going to try and put this back in and file it out and make sure the connection fits. Okay, now you see how this connection is? It's like rectangle and this is a circle. This connection doesn't fit. It's just really slight. You know, like how in school you learn squares don't fit into circles? Same principle here. Square does not fit into circles. So we're just gonna eyeball it, just kind of place it out and then mark it right here with the Sharpie. And right there. And same on the other side here. And right there. Okay, now we're just gonna take out the piece back out and grab a small little file. There you go. Actually, soldering iron's hot already, but let's still get this going. Okay, so I just got my small file. Make sure you protect the board, and all you do is file. File one way, file the other way. You don't have to worry about the shavings getting on the board. It's only plastic. If it was metal, then yeah, you'd want to worry, but okay, now let's test it out again. I did my other light, and just to make sure that it would work. Okay, let's see if it fits. Oh, just a little bit more, just a hair more. I think on this side. Needs a little more on this side, and we should be good. Okay, and perfect. It fits. Just a little bit more. I found this a little bit crooked, or maybe the connection is a little bit crooked, so definitely it's not that hard to come out when you have the wire on. You can pull it out. So, but definitely I want to file just a little bit more because it was kind of a bit snug going in, and I want to make sure that I have enough room, or enough play, and that should do it right there. This file isn't rough, it's kind of fine, but it does cut through this plastic very easily. So just be careful, you don't want to do too much. Okay, good. That should be good right there. Okay, now let's get on to connecting it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to desolder this, which is very easy to do. 1 and 2. There you go. Now you might want to save this just in case you need to put it back for some reason. I don't know. Or you can dump it if you want, because I don't think I'll ever be using that connection. Okay, so now we got marked positive. We should tin this first. Call it tinning. Just getting some solder on this. Okay, and some solder on this. Nope. Okay. So basically you're just tinning it, getting some solder on there, because you're going to see how fast this connection just goes on. Okay. Power. Around here. There you go. Let it cool down, and there's our connection. Let's double check, make sure it's solid. Look pretty good. Now all you do is mount it back. Got dust out. Mount it back on. Put this back on. Okay, solid. Now, what you want to make sure that I have a small little piece of foam that I cut out for this, just to make sure that this connection, the back of this, does not hit any boards. Now, it's not going to hit this board because this board is cut out for it, but it could touch this, which I don't think so, but just to be safe, you know, it's always safety first. You wanna, there you go. Oh, basically reverse order how I went in. So get this part in. Let's get that in. These weren't that tight or snug, so I mean, just make it snug. It wasn't that tight to begin with, so make it snug here and just do a little quarter turn. Don't need to wrench it down. Good to go. Flip it back over. Now we can screw this part back in. This is real basic electronics. You don't need to be a, you know, an electrical engineer to do this. Definitely I'm not. Far from it. I just like to play around with electronics. Well, this is back from my RC car days. You always had to basically put things together and solder and do all that kind of stuff, and you know, you just learn through that. Okay, so now just put the little foam in there. You can hot glue it too, you know, to be more safe. I mean, hot glue is pretty, you know, dense, and you know, I don't think it'll protrude anything, but pretty much that's it. Foam, reverse it. Now when you put this back, you got to make sure that there's a opening piece here, and then you have a sealed piece here. That's for the your diffuser to go in. So you want to make sure that it's always on the top, because you're going to slide it in. You don't want it on the bottom, or you're sliding the diffuser from the bottom and then it can fall out. So make sure that it's on the top. And that should be it. There you go. Okay. Now put this back in. I mean, normally you should actually test these. Now these screws go, there's a flat side, and then around this side, the screws pretty much go on the flat side. That's what holds it in. Normally you should test everything out before you put everything back together, but I'm pretty confident on my work, so and I don't mind. It's fun. I'll take it apart if I have to. It's fun doing this. But that's that. And then now let's test out the light. Okay, so here I have I'm using these batteries, my old NP batteries. These are the IDX batteries. They're for the kind of like these, well, there used to be a V-lock on here. I have other kind of things too, but right here is your Dean's plug. Just plug it in. Oh, there you go. You see it turn on, right? Why isn't it going in? Maybe I need to file some more. Oh no, there it is. Okay, so plugs in and turn on. Test everything out. Bicolor works. Great. And the dimming and brightening. Dim, bicolor, change, and brightness. Yep, everything works. And that's pretty much it. I mean, not much to it. Now you're not bound by this proprietary connector, which I can't find. So now I can use pretty much any type of battery. I just need to make my own connections. Like I can use like these NP batteries. I can even use those regular power pack batteries. I just need to make sure that I have connections that have these on, and I can plug anything into this light. I need to make this connection a little bit better. I think it's a little bit more hard to go in. Oh no, it's not. It's okay. But you see how it doesn't come out. It's in there. I mean, I can even pick up the light by the connection. So it's pretty snug in there. But it's not like hard to come out, because you can easily just pull it out, pop pop on another. Well, you shouldn't need to pop this out once you're actually using the light, because when the battery dies, you're just going to be changing this out. You leave the connection on, change it, pop another battery in. Oh, another thing why I like doing it this way too, because when these batteries are on the light, it's top heavy. So when it's on your light stand, it's a lot of weight on your stand, and it's top heavy, which, you know, it can rock easily, and it's, you know, top heavy, it can tip over. Well, this, you see I put a little wire, not wire, but the string, I think it's a shoelace. But anyway, you can just hang this onto the light stand. You know how you have the little twist knobs on the light stands? Just hang this on the lower one, you know, as low as possible. Now the weight is on the bottom of the light. Now I'm not saying that you don't use sandbags or some type of weight to help hold the bottom part, but this is going to help out with more weight on the bottom than on the top. So the sandbags don't have to be as heavy because the light's not as heavy on the top now, because you're helping relieve a lot of weight on the bottom. That's another reason why I kind of like this setup than, you know, putting the lights on here and then powering it up. So that's that. It's pretty straightforward. Just soldering those two connections on, filing out this little hole more, and I mean, literally it'll only take like 10-15 minutes. So not much labor or time to do this.